Forgive us our debts. How to handle guilt. Probably one of the greatest barriers that all of us struggle with as far as having inner peace is without a doubt this business of guilt. One thing about folk that are religious, or even those that have a relationship, we really know how to dress it up on the outside. We never seem to fall short on making certain that we got everything in place as far as external is concerned. When we come among the people of God, we make sure that everything is on and matching, and we're a little upset if we don't have it all together on the outside before we even come to the house of God. But I come by to tell you that everybody can see what you look like on the outside, but it's only God that knows what's going on. And there's one other person that knows it. You know it too. The problem is a lot of times we don't want to admit, because just like you think you can cover up with the makeup and the clothes on the outer, you kind of got in your head that you can hide what's going on the inside. Millions of people, millions of people right here on this planet, and I'm talking about saved individuals, they are tortured with this business that I call guilt. Most of them, and many of us, are either stuck in the past. They are the slaves of regret. Hello, somebody. You're a slave of something you've done that you're ashamed of. You're a slave to things that you just can't seem to get it out of your mind. Preach, Pastor. You just can't seem to get and move beyond the fact that whatever you've done, I don't care how bad it is, if you wallow like a hog in mud, that this God that we serve, help me out, Holy Ghost. Don't you know how to get out of the past so that you can get on with your life? Somebody say it real loud. Say, go on, preach, Pastor. Some of y'all just hung. Every time you open your mouth, you either talk about what somebody did to you yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Let me just cut right through the chase here. Forget yesterday. You can't go back and relive that. You can't get to the present, and you're very fearful of moving forward in the future. You can't have peace of mind and guilt at the same time. They don't walk hand in hand. Let me say that again. You can't have peace of and guilt at the same time. The thing about guilt is that, guess what? It's not something that's unique to you, but it's unique to all human beings. We share a lot of emotions. I remember saying this Wednesday night. We share a whole lot of emotions with animals, y'all. Yeah, animals share some of the same emotions we share. You know, animals have fear. Animals will get angry. You fool with that puppy that you really like and he bite. Animals even know how to express joy. You give him the right biscuit, he'll. Animals know how to express happiness. Animals can even express sadness. B.W., when he preached that sermon about watch them dogs, and that big fight, and he ran up and he was sad. Y'all better help me here. We share some of the same characteristics that animals share. But let me tell you, there's one thing that animals don't do. I ain't never seen a dog after a fight act like he was sad or upset. They locked up Michael Vick. They ain't said nothing about we're going to get the dogs because they were. Animals don't show guilt. But y'all ain't trying to help me. You're going to say, well, why? Because dogs and animals weren't made in the image of God. We were. Are y'all in here? You were created with a soul, and so you were given a conscience so that you would know the difference between right and this business of guilt is unique, I'm telling you, to human emotions. It's also a universal problem. Everybody feels guilty one time or another. I ain't never felt guilty. All of us have blown it. All of us have flunked it up. No, that's them words y'all don't understand. Everybody in here have sinned before. That's before I got saved. No, I'm talking about since you. Some of y'all have sinned since you've been in here. You sitting up in God's house and your mind is still. It ain't all for young people who still hung on last night. We've all made mistakes. Nobody, I don't want to bust your bubble, but ain't nobody perfect but Jesus. Nobody bats 1,000. Just because I'm hitting about 400 and you hitting 700, you still ain't hitting 1,000. I ain't in here by myself. So everybody has to deal with this issue in our lives that really is a continual thing. The problem with guilt, it's very destructive to your emotions. It's probably the #1 cause of low self-esteem. You used to be a hooker. You ain't got no self-esteem now because you ain't remembered that you're not a hooker anymore and God done forgiven you. Forever, there's young folk in here. You used to be an alcoholic. Now you've been delivered. God knows you just. And the problem is I think most of us realize that God has and will forgive us. We try to showboat it for somebody else. And I hate to tell you that your mama and daddy, if they never forgive you, it really don't make a whole lot of difference. Because all you got to do is live with that for the rest of your life on this side. But if God don't, I ain't living for now, y'all. I'm living for eternity. I don't know about. So regardless of how bad you treat me, especially at the age I am now, it can't last too long. If you mean to me the rest of my life and I make it to 80, it ain't but 20 years. That ain't nothing compared to it. Y'all looking at me funny. I don't know why you get so upset on some short term. Probably the other thing that guilt will do, it'll cause you to be depressed. You ever see folk can't ever smile? Always looking like something hurting. Either the shoes too tight, the girdle ain't fitting. I mean, they always look like they got a pain. You can walk up to them with a smile. I said, why are you always looking so depressed? Preacher Abbott. You coming down somebody's street, just don't park. It's probably one of the causes of the anxiety that we go through. When you're filled with guilt, you are trying to keep something a secret in your life that you're ashamed of. And it causes all kinds of emotional problems.